She's standing. She is standing. She's not real sturdy. She's going to her mom. Come on, Daisy. Come on, Daisy. Gonna make it, sweetie? That's a little bit of chopped Timothy and alfalfa. Oh, that is so much better. She's still having a little difficulty. There we go. There you go. Yeah. There we go. There we go. She is getting there. Okay, hold on a second. Oh. Okay. Hopefully, because I couldn't turn the thing around, hopefully I'm in frame. Anyway, this little girl, as you just saw, was standing up pretty much on her own. She's still a little wobbly on her back end, but this is, let me see her, found her Sunday, got medicine for her yesterday, which was Monday, and today's Tuesday, 3 days. She has made a wonderful recovery. Hopefully by the end of the week she'll be back up and I can let her out of here. I have her chilling out in the shade of a black walnut tree. She is doing so much better. Yes, right here is a little bit of chopped Timothy alfalfa hay that I found at Tractor Supply. I had water here for her. She did have a drink earlier. And I have seen her eating some greens. Don't eat my finger, sweetheart. Yeah, she's been eating a little bit of grass, a little bit of clover. I've gotten some leaves down for her. She's eating that. She's got a good weight. She hasn't lost any weight. She's doing really good. I had sprayed her down yesterday because flies were bothering her back end. I'm keeping an eye on either side of her where she was getting so much pressure on the tree trunks that the skin could very easily slough off. So I'm keeping an eye on that so we don't develop an infection. They did not open, but there's going to be pressure sores there. So yes. And by the way, the vet, when I called the vet yesterday morning, they asked me what her name was. And I said she didn't have a name yet, but she needs one. But it has to be a flower name. And I told her the flower names that I already had. I said, if anybody there in your office wants to name her, by all means. So they came up with the name Sunflower. Now I'm calling her Sunny. Okay? And she's doing really, really well. Now, give you a little bit more detail on what happened, okay? Saturday was the Amish auction, and I had spent pretty much all day there. It was an exhausting day, and we had to make a trip back with Dizzy's truck because the one thing that I bought was just 1 inch too tall, and I could not get it in my truck. So we had to go back. I took measurements to make sure that Dizzy's truck was taller than mine, and it was. And so we used her truck to get it back here. She's such a sweetheart. Anyway, so I made for an extra long day, and of course, there's only one way in and one way out, okay, from where the auction was, and it took a long time to get in and out of where the auction was. So that's one reason why it was so exhausting. It was a good auction, but anyway, I have no idea how long she was hung up the way she was, because I did not do my head count when I brought the goats in for feeding that night. I usually do my head count. I count all the kids to make sure everybody is present and accounted for. That night, Saturday night, I did not do the head count. And so it was almost dark when I came out. I said, oh, I didn't do my head count. I better go. I was like, oh, maybe I can wait till morning. No, I better go out and do my head count. So I did. I went out and I did my head count. And I can't tell you how many times in the twilight, the dusk, whatever, I don't know how many times I counted and recounted to make sure I wasn't missing somebody. And sure enough, there was only 8. I said, great, who am I missing? Okay, Little Miss's kids, I can pretty much identify them. Cinnamon's boy, can identify him, generally speaking. Little Miss's kids, I can identify them. Coco's I can identify as like process of elimination. I figured out it looks like it's Daisy's, one of Daisy's, and she was over here. She was crying. It's like, I don't know, and I could only see the one kid with her. So, making sure she's still on the fence. Yes, she is. So that means process of elimination. It was one of Daisy's kids. Oh, great. It's like it would have been too dangerous for me to try to go out Saturday night because of the losing daylight. And I don't have a working headlight anymore. I need to get a new one. It just would have been too dangerous. I know, sweetie. Is that your mom? Is that your mom? She needs to come over here and see you. Yes, she does. Yes. Anyway, so I went out Saturday morning before church, and I went up above the cabin. There's a road that goes up there. I went up there, and I went up the hill because I know the goats have gone up that hill. I went up there to see if I could find any place where she might have gotten hung up, and I didn't find anything. I did find 2 big trees across the fence line, so that needs to be taken care of. But anyway, so that was up there. I came back, and I had to cook my husband's breakfast and get ready to go to church. Boy, yes, I was conflicted. Go to church with my husband or stay here and hunt for the kid. I was conflicted. I hadn't heard anything, and I was like, okay, would I be just looking for a dead kid? Because I was hearing nothing. Okay. And also my husband would have given me grief. So I went ahead and I went to church. When we came back, I started searching again. This time we went towards the pond and uphill from the pond. Okay, Dizzy was with me, and when we were uphill from the pond, and then we started working back this way. I thought I heard a kid crying from the direction of the pond. I thought I did. So I started calling, goat, goat, goat. And they're old enough. They've heard me make that call, and the mom's all coming, so they understand. And I thought I heard her 1 or 2 more times, and I started moving closer and closer, trying to, figure out exactly where she was. And Dizzy thought that it was coming from the other direction, and I knew that the goats had gone in that direction. So I was doubting myself, and I called again, and I got no response. I thought, well, maybe Dizzy's right. Maybe it was in the other direction, and I just wasn't getting it right. So we went back in that direction, and we went uphill, looking around, seeing what we could see. Ended up in a section I had never been before. We had searched all back over there, and then we came back, And we were sitting in the pasture for a little bit, just kind of recovering, picking off ticks, and just resting up a bit. I don't know how long we were there. We must have been out for a couple of hours. And then I decided to get up and come over this way a little bit. And the goats had moved in that general direction. And I heard Daisy and a kid calling. And when you have a herd of goats, I don't know if it applies to sheep as well, and any animals, if you pay attention to them, you learn their calls, okay? And I was hearing a mother goat trying to get her kid, and I heard a kid calling, "Mom, I'm here, Mom, I'm here," or "Mom, where are you? Mom, where are you?" And it's like that kind of calling out is what I was hearing. And I recognized it was Daisy. Okay, so I thought, well, maybe over there. So I started running. Granted, I'm not a marathon runner by any stretch of the imagination, but I started running as best as I could in that direction towards the pond. Okay, and I was calling goat, goat, and then after a bit, I was hearing Daisy. I started more directly calling Daisy, Daisy, and yeah, come on, Daisy, come on over here, Daisy, Daisy, come on, Daisy, come on, Daisy. Yeah, I know. See, that's what I was hearing, and louder. Anyway, so it sounded like Daisy was moving further away. And I kept going. I got beyond the pond. I running through the brush, got beyond the pond, and I heard her uphill. There she is. There she is. Hello, Violet. There's Daisy. There she is. You gonna stand up? Careful. Careful. You can do it. That's it. She's trying. Good girl, Sunny. Good girl. You think you can get to your mom? Nope, not quite. I know. She is old enough. Hello, Daisy. Yes, I know, sweetheart. That's your little girl. Sunny is old. Both of them are old enough. They don't need their mother. They don't need their mother's milk. It's just a soothing thing. See, she's trying. This is something that I figured out, is that if a kid is not 100%, if they have any weakness, if they don't stand correctly, the mothers will not allow them to nurse. Okay? So we did manage to get her to latch on. You gonna try again? Soon after we got her back here to the goat barn, Dizzy was holding Daisy, and I was able to get her, and she got a good solid drink from her mother, and I think that's what helped her to get her strength back. So anyway, get back to the story. Daisy had moved away, and I was calling, and she was a distance away. But then I saw up the hill, I saw white, a little bit of white. And I ran up, it was uphill. And there she was, this poor little thing. She was hung up between the tree trunks. Okay, there was a log behind here. And she was hung up, these two skinny tree trunks. Okay? And she had wedged just in front of her pelvis. She was wedged with her hind feet elevated. There was no way she could get any kind of grip with her hind feet. Her front feet was on the ground. You could see where she had been pawing, trying to get out. And I mean, she was so tired and getting weak. And it's like, after running that far and uphill and not being in great shape, I didn't have the strength to lift her out of there. I tried to get her up as soon as I found her. I couldn't get her. I just didn't have the strength. And so thankfully I had my cell phone on me, and I called Dizzy. I said, I found her. She's alive, but I need help. So I told Dizzy where I was. I said, come behind the pond. And then then I started calling her. And just before she got there, I managed to, I guess, recovered enough. I found the strength to get her up out of that fork and get her down on the ground. And I started rubbing her legs and working her legs. I was sitting there on the ground with her on my lap. And it's like she obviously didn't have any strength in her legs whatsoever. There was no way she was going to walk back. So by then Dizzy got there, and between her, we took turns carrying her down the hill and through the brush. And thankfully we didn't have to go too far to get her to the goat barn. And once we got back and we got her in there, Dizzy went and got one of the bags of shavings that I had to put down in the corner. And we let her rest there. We got her some leaves. And like I said, Dizzy had held Daisy long enough for her to just drain Daisy's udder. So she had that in her system. Yes, I know, sweetheart. Oh, you're so cute. So anyway, and as you saw, she was standing on her own. She stood on her own just a couple minutes ago. I know, sweetheart, I know. I'm going to bring the water over closer to you, okay? Yes, I know. I don't have her in the direct sun. She's in the shade. She's on the ground. But she is recovering. She had been hanging there for at least 24 hours. I don't know exactly what time she had gone missing because I wasn't here. I was gone all day. Seems like anytime I'm gone all day, that's when there's something tragic going to happen. So thankfully, I've been praying to find her. I wasn't optimistic about finding her alive. I thought for sure that something had snatched her away because when Sheba, Saturday night, Sheba was a disaster. You know, she was really looking rough, so I didn't know what was going on with Sheba. So, I all these scenarios, different scenarios, was going through my head. So anyway, little Miss Sunny is doing well, and I fully expect she will be almost fully recovered by the end of the week. She's making a tremendous progress. She's getting there. Yes, I know, sweetheart. Well, you'll get stronger. You'll get stronger. I did use the sling to hold her up a little bit, a couple times yesterday, and that helps to get the strength going in her legs. But she's made a couple attempts to get up. She's gotten up herself. She's not to where she's walking very well yet, but she's getting there. It'll come with time. I know, sweetheart. I know. I know, baby. I know you want to go see your mom. I know. But I can't be carrying you all over creation. You'll get there. Yes, you will. Okay? And I got these collars on so I can tell the difference. Her other kid, I've decided to name Violet. So we have Violet and Sunny, or Sunflower. So anyway, this is Mom H with Honey Hollow Homestead, with hopefully a positive outcome of this whole scenario. So I will talk to y'all later. Yeah, now I get to get up and go turn the camera off. Yes. Okay?